I turned 40 this last year. 40 for me has been a marker for looking into my past and feeling like crap for how little I've accomplished. It's been wonderful. I found myself longing to change who I am, to become the man I knew I could be, the man my wife and kids deserved. But then I think I'm too old, which is stupid. Back in the old days of real men, reaching 40 wasn't seen as a descent into the end. It was the start of a climb up a mountain that took 40 years to prepare for. 40 begins a new journey. If you're still watching this, I assume that you can relate, so before we jump in, this is meant to be completely interactive. It has the framework to truly reinvent yourself, but it takes work and commitment. Everything you need to create a new you, a you who is more than you are now, is included in this video and the part 2 of this video. If you follow everything detailed, it will change your life 100%. It's already drastically began to change mine. It literally just takes you doing it. Before we get into the practical, the interactive parts, I need to set up the mountain analogy that I'll use forevermore every time you hear me say anything, and introduce the framework behind this whole thing. Now, grab a mug of the strong stuff. This is empty. And let's begin the climb. Our brains teeter constantly between order and chaos. Chaos is our default, and it sucks. Chaos is darkness, it's stress, it's pain, suffering, and left untamed, it literally does bring about a living hell. Like truly a hell on earth that most of us have only glimpsed at and want to avoid at all costs. Order, on the other hand, is the polar opposite. Order is purpose, joy, love, direction. Order is light. The order and chaos that our brains teeter on can easily be demonstrated right now as you're watching this, so try it if you want. Sit for a minute and think about something. It could be anything. It could be what you need to do after this video. It could be what you should be doing right now instead of watching this video. Literally anything, just think. Okay, so now pay attention to where your string of coherent thoughts end. When they end, there's probably gonna be at least 2 to 3 seconds of your brain just kind of going on its own, where it'll catch a hold of another line of thoughts. And very soon, you'll begin moving from conscious thought, like what you tried to think of, to a line of unconscious thoughts where we're not deliberately thinking. Our thoughts are just sort of on autopilot and we can't predict where they'll even end up. When this happens though, pay attention, because very often our unconscious thoughts will go negative. And those negative thoughts tend to multiply. This is our brain going back to its default state, which is unordered chaos. It's worry, fears, stress, anxiety, past mistakes, future failures, current failures, worst case scenarios, all that horrible stuff. It's unordered chaos, and it can get ugly and it can get dark. This is why many people claim that this is interesting too. It's why many people claim that the most miserable parts of their lives are on Sundays between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. because that's when they have nothing to do or little to do, and their minds tend to drift more. It's also why many of us don't like being alone with their thoughts. Why many of us have... Are you awake? It's why many of us have sleepless nights, and why almost all of us describe our days, or would describe our days, as busy. Busyness tends to keep our minds filled with structured thoughts because we're doing stuff, and it doesn't allow those dark thoughts to enter when our minds aren't busy. Because when our minds are busy, that's when chaos tends to appear.
I will get you.
What the hell was that? Are you having an asthma attack?
That was my evil laugh.
The cure for this, however, is simple. Well, in theory. It's knowing how to bring order to your mind, to your thoughts. It's knowing how to direct your attention, really. Thanks for watching. And be sure to like and subscribe. That's the end. You notice how when I puff on this, it's just ash. There's so much dry ash on top of this. Okay, let's keep going. There's 2 ways of bringing order to our minds. One is mental. It's a way of thinking that's actually so simple and obvious, you'll probably ignore it or toss it away. And the other is physical. And it's also so simple and obvious and seemingly insignificant that you may ignore it and toss it away, which is fine, because you can just keep failing and keep falling behind and keep not being a better version of yourself tomorrow than you are today, because you're a loser and you're always going to be a loser. Don't do that. Oh. The key to success isn't in learning something new. It's not a trick or a hack. It's repeating the same boring and often annoying steps day after day. That's really it. We'll get into the details, so don't click away. Okay, so let me go into my mountain analogy. So follow me here, if you will. I'm almost done, I promise, and then we can get into the practical stuff you can implement right now. Picture a literal mountain in front of you, whatever you want it to look like. At the top of the mountain is heaven. It's everything you ever wanted, everything you wanted to become. It's your dreams, your passions, goals, and promises. The bottom of the mountain is hell. And hell can get as bad as you can imagine and maybe worse. And it's real. It's literally real for people right now. Few people, men, make it to the top, to heaven. And many stay at the bottom. Most, however, take a few steps up the mountain, get comfortable enough there, and stay there. For many, the rest of their lives. And for you, maybe up until this point, you've remained there. I have. Had, anyways. Now I'm better than you. And the reason for that is a few steps up is easy. And when you take a few steps up, you're not in hell, although sometimes it may feel pretty close, but you're very far from heaven. The difference between most who are stuck only a few steps above hell and those who reach the summit are two simple things. It's clarity and repeating the boring. Clarity is the difference between having a trail map or a compass. If you'd like, you can make this your own analogy because you have to do it your own way. I know, it has to be your own thing. You're so annoying. So it's the difference between having this map or compass or whatever and having no clue how to even get up the mountain, which is most. Most don't know how to get up the mountain. They're just like trapped in this place and they're like, I don't know, I see heaven up there, but oh well. I don't know how to get there. So they just stay in the middle and they turn lazy and weak and soft and gay. That's usually the progression. Repeating the boring is the actionable and literal steps up the mountain. It's following the map. So you have the map and repeating the boring is just doing the thing, taking the literal steps to get to where the map is leading you, or compass, which is where almost everybody breaks down. Almost everybody fails at that point. They know what it takes to get in shape, to get healthier, to become better. They just don't do it. And so by the end of watching these two videos, I guarantee you, if you do these things, you will achieve what you've always dreamed of achieving, becoming the person you want to become, that you need to become. All right, let's get into it. Okay, step number one. First thing you need to do, grab a writing device. It could be your phone, although you're using that to watch the video probably, so you can open up your notes, you can get a notepad, whatever you want, just get something you can write down. All right, so if you have something to write on, I'm gonna put up a bunch of questions, and there are a bunch of these. Side note, if you don't want to write all of these down, you can actually put down your writing device if you want. I'll have a link in the description below where you can download everything I discuss with a complete trail map in detail, absolutely free, and you can download it in the description below. And it kind of summarizes everything we'll discuss in this video, this part 1, and the part 2 video that comes after this. So write if you want, or download if you'd rather. If you're really taking this seriously, this reinvention of yourself, take the time to go through these questions. That's it. That's step 1. Go through all of these questions, review them, take your time, write them out. Okay, step 2. This would be week 2. So hopefully you spend a week on those first questions and you don't have to. You do your own thing. You're your own person. You're rebellious. You're the compass. You're also annoying. And you probably know that. And if you don't think that's true, well, it is, because I know you personally. I've been watching you for the past, I don't know what I'm talking about. Step 2. We are going to, the goal of step 2 anyways, is to tear off the band-aids of our past, if you will. The idea is that we're gonna work to change who we are, to become better than we've ever been before. To do that, we have to kill off the things that have held us back up to this point. And these are the habits, the weaknesses, the mistakes, guilt, regrets, all of the darkness, the things we hold and hide from everybody else, and the caverns, the darkness in the back of our minds. We're gonna pull all these out and shed light on them, because literally until we deal and wrestle with the things that have held us back in the past, we're never going to change who we are to become better in the future. So, same thing as last week. There's a list of questions. I'll put them up on the screen if you want to write them down. This again is included in the download that's in the description. You want to write them down in horrifying detail. And again, take your time with these, analyze them, and give them honest answers. If you get to a question and you're lying to yourself, or you really don't know what the answer to the question is, just ask your wife. It's guaranteed she will have an answer. And if you don't have a wife, just find a woman in your life who knows you, and they will be able to tell you exactly in painstaking detail what those things are. Really, you want to get into this because there's parts of your mind that nobody else knows. There's parts of you that you've held secrets in your mind, secrets that nobody else knows. These are the things you need to let out and be honest about. Okay. Week 3, if you're going through this, taking time or not, but whatever, this is step 3. This one is kind of fun. So what you'll do for this step is that you're going to create a playlist of music. 10 or more, as many songs as you want, but at least 10 songs that resonate with your values, with who you are at your core, who you're trying to become. And the idea is that you want to think beyond just the music. You want to find songs that really mean something to you, that are aligned with who you want to become, what you represent. So I encourage you to dive deep into lyrics if the song has lyrics. If not, that's totally fine. But really look at the rhythm, the mood, the feels that this song gives you. The playlist will be useful to just get your brain aligned and to hopefully encourage you through those difficult times when you want to quit, to remind you of what you're doing this for and who you're trying to become. All right, last step for this video. This would be week 4 if you're taking a week for each of these. This one is specifically morbid. What you'll do for this one you do need a writing device, some paper, a pen, your notes, whatever you want. This one really think it through. And I would encourage you to revisit this one even after you get a rough draft of it. Okay. So what you'll do is, again, this gets a little morbid, but you're going to write the eulogy, a minimum of 250 words, that you wish or hope that the person or people closest to you will write about you when you die. You want to choose at least 2 people. This could be your mom and dad, your wife, your kids, that gal, or that fellow. Whoever it is that's meaningful, impactful for you in your life. 2 people. Write what you hope, wish, want their eulogy to sound like, that they'll read off at your demise. Well, that's it. You made it to the top of the mountain. Your life is now perfect, and you are the man you've always wanted to be. Pretty simple. Stupid. If you got through those steps authentically and truly, then where you're at right now is the trailhead. You're literally at the start of going up the mountain. So, in my next video, the part 2 of this, we will take everything that you've written down, your playlist, your eulogies, and build your specific personal map or compass for you. And also the daily steps that you need to take to achieve heaven, to achieve the top of the mountain for you, at least at this time. And so what that will look like, you'll see in the next video, is that it's going to take you through a process that's going to last 6 months. At which time, you may not be at the top of the mountain at the end of the 6 months, but you'll be at a summit that will carry you into the rest of your life. A summit that you have never been able to reach before, that will truly change your life if you do it. And we'll get into that in the next video. So watch my part 2 now to begin the climb. Do you know what I'm going to say next? Subscribe to my channel, because that's how you end every video. Literally trying to reach as many men with this as I can, because as I climb the mountain, I'm trying to bring as many men with me on this journey of betterment into being the men that we need to be, especially going into this time in our history where we're going to face challenges that we have literally never been presented with before, at least in human history that we know of. So we need strong men. And if you want to go up the mountain with me, then, well, follow these videos, download the guide and the outline for this video, if you will. And if you haven't, be sure, won't you, subscribe to this channel, because I'm trying to grow it, literally trying to reach as many men with this as I can, because as I climb the mountain, I'm trying to bring as many men with me on this journey of betterment into being the men that we need to be, especially going into this time in our history, human history, that is going to become, I think, one of the most difficult and challenging times in human history, where we're going to face challenges that we have literally never been presented with before, at least in human history that we know of. So we need strong men. And if you want to go up the mountain with me, then, follow these videos, Download download the guide and the outline for this video, if you will, and I'll see you in the next video.